Now that we have our ordinary language argument expressed as a standard form categorical syllogism, the real fun begins. We get to test the argument for validity, and we're going to begin doing so with a Venn diagram. We're going to mark just the premise statements to see if after doing so, the Venn diagram also reflects the conclusion statement, thus proving the argument valid. You can see here in our argument that we've got a particular premise and a universal premise, and anytime that's the situation, we always mark the universal premise first. So in this case, all W or S, we've got to shade in areas 5 and 6 because anything that would be existing in area 5 or 6 would be a W that's not an S, and we want to show the statement all W or S. And now we can mark the first premise, some SRC. But we have a problem here, don't we? Because we could put an X in area 3, and that would show the statement some SRC, but we could also put an X here in area 4. And that would also show the statement some SRC. And whenever we encounter this situation where there's two areas where we could mark an X to show a particular premise, we mark the X on the arc or the line separating those two areas. And that proves that the argument is invalid. Here's why. The conclusion of this argument is some WRC. If it turns out that there is in fact an X in area 3, then the Venn diagram would prove this argument valid by showing the conclusion after marking just the premises. But if it turns out there's not an X in area 3, but there is an X in area 4, then this Venn diagram would not show the statement some W or C. So whether or not this conclusion is true or false when we assume the premises are true is undeterminable. It's possible for the conclusion to be true, it's possible for the conclusion to be false, and if it's possible for the conclusion to be false, even when we assume the premises are true, then the argument is invalid. So what's going on here? We can figure out what's going on here by applying the 5 rules of categorical syllogisms, and that's what we're going to do in the next lecture.